So this right here is WHEEZY out of here.
WHEEZY
And he worked with the biggest rappers in this industry, and I'm going to show you why every rapper loves to rap on his beats or to use his beats. And I'm going to show you all a lot of simple techniques or simple secrets he uses to make his beats stand out from other producers' beats, and how he gets this crazy bounce.
I feel like my style is romantic, trap, up-tempo, just straight, raw, street, just wavy type music.
So WHEEZY is really known for his hard-hitting 808s, for his crisp hi-hats, and for his ambient effects on the samples. And today I'm going to show y'all a lot of different techniques and a lot of secrets he uses to make his beats stand out, as I said. And if y'all don't want to miss it, make sure to watch till the end. It would really mean a lot. And I'm going to break down a lot of different patterns where I basically show y'all how WHEEZY makes his beats sound so unique and so crazy from other producers. And make sure to leave a comment on this new video style. I really put a lot of effort in this video. I already spent like 2 or 3 hours on the intro. Please make sure to leave a like, to subscribe, and to comment. And yeah, let's run it.
So just a tsunami lifestyle.
So for the first sample, which y'all have just heard, you can see the FOP right here. It looks kind of complex, but it's really just my own guitar. And I basically just played some simple notes or some simple like rhythms and even some simple chords. And I laid down a guitar melody with a lot of rhythm. And if you listen to it, it sounds really simple, but it's kind of hard to understand. So I'm gonna just show you all the simple patterns or like the single patterns or rhythms I played. So for the main melody, it's really simple. It's just 2 simple chords, which are sounding like this. Then I have this lapse piano, which is a soft piano, which basically just replicates 1 chord. And then I have the C and B note. Then these 4 guitar melodies. And for the melody, I have this X bass with this bass line right here and this flute right there, which sounds like this. And what WHEEZY uses a lot is textures and like perk loops. So I use this 44 perk loop Goose and this 44 perk loop Vibrant and this Luca Cracker Rain texture out of my Vital multi kit, which will drop very soon. As you can see, there are guitar phrases, one-shots, phrases, accent and ups, bonus samples, percussion loops, and textures. And I just load the velocities of these perk loops and textures just to layer them in the background to give the sample more depth. And the perk loops are sounding like this. And that's really all I did for the sample. I'ma just play it real quick so you can get a hang of what it sounds like. And then let's get on to the drums, because that's the main focus and main point of this video. And then for the drums, because it's a very fast-paced sample, I will show you the drums for No Debate first. The song sounds like this.
I seen a baddie, then I caught her while painting.
And I really like the song and I really love the drum bounce of the song. And WHEEZY did something very common for his style, which is basically play with the hi-hats and play with the space of the hi-hats. So make the hi-hat pattern really spacious. So as you can see, this is the hi-hat and this is the snare. And he left some space with the hi-hat so the snare can like, I would say, can shine, so the snare doesn't get overplayed by the hi-hat or otherwise. And the kick is here as well. It's the kick 1 sizzle. I think it's basically the simple rack kick. And the 808 pattern is really simple, what is really common for WHEEZY's beats as well, because he mainly has his bounce on the hi-hats and snares and maybe sometimes on the claps. And as you can see, it's just a C, D, and D sharp, because the song is in a C minor scale. So it's the 1st note, the 3rd note, and the 4th note of the scale. And this just repeats the whole time. The kick pattern gives it a little bit of variation. And then he has like this simple bass line, which basically just plays on a C, goes down to a G sharp, and then goes up to a high C and high G sharp, and then goes down again to this like low C and the low G sharp, and it switches up throughout the beat, because it's really important for these type of beats, or like for WHEEZY type of beats, to give the beat a lot of variation in the drums and even in the sample. But sometimes WHEEZY doesn't even need variation in the sample. He just switches up the drums every other bar, so the listener gets like a feeling of something new is happening and he gets them hooked to this beat, or like basically to the song then. But this pattern right here is really simple. As as you can see, it's basically just the hi-hats, then the roll, then the hi-hat. And this drum pattern is really simple. I like this drum loop. He has like this basic hi-hat pattern, then a roll, then the basic hi-hat pattern again, then 3 rolls, then it just cuts off and lets the snare shine. The snare looks like this. Then he goes again to the hi-hat, has a roll, a space, then the basic 2-step hi-hat, then 2 normal notes, 1 lower note, 1 normal note, and then again for the snare pattern, as you can see, it gets a little bit more complex, the snare pattern, and the drum pattern on its own is sounding like this. And now let's go on to the beat, which I will break down. And I tried to go for a similar pattern because as you can see right here, I left some spaces in the hi-hats as well, but not as many as he did in the No Debate beat. But as you can tell, I have these like little rolls which he used as well, just to get like a lot of bounce into the beat and a lot of rhythm. And I played a little bit with the velocities of this hi-hat pattern right here, or like of this hi-hat roll right here. And the hi-hat pattern is really simple. I just have some rolls, some lower notes, and some spaces, obviously. Then for the snare pattern, as you can see, I basically just layered every other clap with the snare as well to give it like more of a punch. And I try to play with the snare when the hi-hat is not playing. As you can see right here, I have this snare right there, right here another one because I don't think the hi-hat is playing there. Then just this one to layer the clap again, same as right here. And then I just copied it over. It's really simple. Then I have this crispy clap pattern and I just have the default clap pattern. I just added this clap right here to give it like again more rhythm and again more of an unexpected feeling when the listener is listening, because it's not in every song like this. Like basically it would have been like this, but now it sounds like this. It just adds like bounce and variation from other beats. And then for the open net pattern, I'm gonna just paste the 808 pattern in here so you can see what I did. So the E notes are the 808 pattern, and as you can see, I just layered some of the 808 notes with the open net. So this right here, the blue notes are the open net, and as you can see, it hits on this 808 and on this 808, but sometimes it doesn't, as you can see right here and right there, just that it doesn't get repetitive and boring. And I switched up the sample a little bit, so I use different parts for different parts of the like beat, but I'm gonna let these 16 bars play so y'all can get a hang of what I mean. So right here, as you can see on the waveform already, it's like a little bit slower and not like as hectic as it is in this part, because this is like the main part of the song. This is the second part of the hook. This really decides if the listener is listening to the whole song. And now I'm gonna let the beat play, and the finished beat with all the drum patterns together is sounding like this. So as you can hear as well, the 808 pattern is really simple. I just have it on the E note like WHEEZY does as well. He barely like makes crazy 808 patterns. Obviously it does sometimes, but in most of his beats, his 808 patterns are like not repetitive, but like very simple. And that's what I did with this 808 pattern as well. I just have these 2 notes for these 2 bars, and then these 2 notes for these 2 bars, and then I just copied it over, but I added another 808 to this one. So I have these 2 notes right here, so I basically have 3 notes right there, and then the 2 notes again. So I tried to put the main bounce, or like the main focus of the bounce, on the hi-hats and the claps and the snares, and it really worked for this beat. I really like this beat, and I think it's really easy to rap on, and that's really the WHEEZY formula when it comes to making beats. And then for the next sample, which I'm gonna show y'all, which fits WHEEZY style 100%, is the Fragile sample. And if y'all want these samples, by the way, make sure to leave a comment and a like and to subscribe, and then message me on Instagram, and I'm gonna send you these 2 and 8 other samples. So basically I'm gonna send you 10 samples completely for free, so y'all don't miss out on that. And as you can see, I just have this simple section right here, which I laid down. It's a very simple pattern. I just basically flipped it afterwards. I pitch it down by 3, declick mode to generic, mode to stretch, and the effects will be on the screen when I play it. And I basically left some space right here for another instrument, which I'm gonna show y'all right away. It's just like a simple bell, and both of these together are sounding like this. And then after that, I had the slaps piano again, and I just have a really simple pattern again, which is basically just a C minor chord, but I added this other C, and then I just went down with the root note just to switch it up a little bit. And that's really all I did for this pattern, and it sounds like this. Then for this empty space right here, I have this analog clap as well with like a simple up, and it sounds like this. And then again, the German Summers texture and the Luca Bait perk loop, which as you can see, I didn't do anything to them. I just lowered the velocity of these, or basically the volume, and they sound like this. And then for the last thing, I have this dusty fret bass one shot, and I just put the motor stretch, and I have this Nami bass guitar frets, which is basically like a little fill, but it fits perfectly for this sample. And as you can see, I pitched this dusty fret bass down by 4 and this one down by 5, just because I went down with the root knot as I showed y'all, and the bass line is sounding like this. And now before I show you the drums, which give the sample a crazy new bounce, I'm gonna show you all the finished sample, and the finished sample is sounding like this. And I'm gonna start with the hi-hat pattern, and as I said, WHEEZY uses a lot of like spaces in the hi-hat pattern, so I did this as well, and I left the space right here and right there, and there's a longer part where the hi-hat doesn't play, but I filled this part up with snares and 808s, and as you can see, I have a lot of Rhodes in this pattern as well, but I don't really have that many like normal notes, I would say. As you can see, there's like a lower note, and the hi-hat pattern is really simple, and I'm gonna play it together with the snare though, because the snare really complements the hi-hats, and matter of fact, I'm gonna just play it with the clap, because as you can see right here, I layered the clap with the snare again, but not on every clap, as you can see here. And these are really simple patterns as well, and together they are sounding like this. And with the snare pattern, I'm gonna show it to y'all in the channel rack. As you can see right here, usually you would have put the snare right here, but I put it on like an offbeat, because WHEEZY does that a lot to give it like a different bounce, because you barely hear that in today's beats. And as you can see right here, there's it again, there again, even with 2 notes, because the normal note would have just looked like this. But I added these 2 notes as well, so it just gives the listener like a different feeling of the beat and something they really don't hear that often. And I have these 2 offbeats as well, and then I just copied the pattern over, as you can see right here. And that's what makes WHEEZY's beats really unique and really like stand out from other producers, because he does things that not many producers do. Most of the producers just lay down a simple 2-step hi-hat pattern and lay down like the basic snare pattern, but that's what he doesn't like to do, because he wants his beats to be more unique, and that's what he achieves with these type of bounces. It's really simple, but as I said, not many producers do this. And now let's go on to the open hats. I have this Rex added open hat out of my Starstruck multi-kit, and I just laid it down on the 1 and 5, and this WHEEZY open hat, which I laid down on the 3 and 7. And these 2 patterns are really simple again, and they sound like this. And now for the 808 pattern, it's really simple again, but as you can see, I have like a little switch up at the end, so it gets like a little bit more interesting. And I have this B note, then another B, then basically just for these 4 bars, like every time I play this D note, because it's the root note of the sample, and then I went up to an G, and then to an F sharp, and then I went to the 1/3 grid option and laid down this 808 pattern, or like this 808 bounce. And it's really nice for these type of beats, because it's a slow beat and the listener probably doesn't expect the 808 to switch up like this. But this is what makes WHEEZY's beats so unique and stand out from other producers again. He makes things that other producers won't do that often, so it surprises the listener and they get like kind of hooked to the beat and then obviously to the song. And that is what makes his beats stand out so much, that he does things that other producers usually won't do. And I'm gonna play out the full beat right now, and as you can see again, there's like a little emptier section right here, and then for the second part of the hook, it gets like more hectic again, I would say, but like just a little bit, and the sample switches up a bit. But I'm gonna play out these 16 bars, and the second finished beat in WHEEZY style is sounding like this. So yeah guys, I really hope y'all enjoyed this new video style. I really put so much time, work and effort in this video, and I'm gonna drop one video a week in this style. So if y'all like it, don't forget to like, to subscribe and to comment. It would really mean a lot, and then I can see if y'all like the video style. I would really appreciate that. And if y'all haven't already, make sure to check out Lucaland, my kids store. The link for that is in the description. Use code Lucaland15 for 15% off. And as I said, if y'all like this video style, make sure to leave a like, subscribe and to comment. And yeah guys, see y'all next week.